Hello, I'm Bruce Zimmerman. This is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week. Thermal heated hose. Yes, it is that season that's coming soon. And what you're looking for is, well, I've got to sort of top up my fish pond, my hot tub, or even put out a rink for the kids to go skating on this winter. So what do? You get a thermal heated hose. Now, a thermal heated hose will raise the temperature of the water so that it will not freeze. Will it heat the water? No, it will not. But here is a way of keeping the water flowing and warm enough above freezing so that you get a much better surface on your ice rink. Or if you're filling a trough for animals such as cattle and horses, it would be great here as well. Now, the thermal heated hose comes in two different kinds and two different lengths. The PVC coating, it comes in 40 and 60 foot, and the rubber comes in a coating with 40 to 60 feet in length. So, very similar. If you're in rough conditions, then you do want to use the rubber one. But if you're an occasional home user and you just got to go and fill up the hot tub once in a while, then PVC will work quite well. They are Met Safety listed, so that means they're very safe to use. Now, in order to be certain that these are safe to use, they do not heat the ends of the hose. That means the last 6 to 8 inches has no electricity in them. The result of this is, yes, it is safer to use, particularly where you're putting your hands. Also, there's no electricity going or possibly into your home's water system through the hose. Now, the thermostat on the thermal heated hoses are at the female end. That means where they attach to the tap. That means that the thermostat has to be outside in the ambient air temperature to work. It comes on and shuts off at 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So therefore, if it goes above, it shuts off automatically and will not heat the water. But if it drops below that, it will heat the water. Now, because we are not superheating the water, you want to make sure that you heat up the hose 20 to 30 minutes ahead of time in very cold weather. So if you do not leave them plugged in all the time, and you can if you wish, but do not have to, then what you want to do is you want to go and plug them in 20 to 30 minutes before you go to use it. This warms up the hose so that the cold water, when it hits that hose, is warm and you don't have any freezing water within the hose. Now, because of this and the fact that there is no electricity at the other end either, it's much easier and safer for you to use because that's where your hand is going to be. But when you are finished, you do need to, one, remove any nozzle that you have at the end of the hose on the male end, and you have to detach the female end from your tap. You may leave it plugged in. You do not have to. If you are going to put several together, let's say you're running it over to 100 feet, then you can put a 40 and a 60 together, but you'll have to run 2 extension cords, 1 to each thermostat, and you need to detach the 2 hoses because, again, that section between will not have any heat in it. Is this a heated hose for drinking water? No. It is not for you if you're living in an RV or you're using it for a cottage in the winter to get water. No. This is not for potable drinking water. It is mainly for ponds and watering animals in the winter, filling up tanks and water tanks, as well as hot tubs, and of course, skating rinks. So there you go, a good tool to make your life a little easier come this winter. I think it'll also make it a lot easier for you if you wish to go and actually wash your car in freezing weather as well. Now, at this time of year, we also have an issue with leaves. And leaves are, of course, one of the ways that nature adds organic matter to the soil, but it also can bring disease. Very often at this time of year, we're seeing tree mildew, and we're seeing the leaf scorch, and we're seeing the tar spot on maples. So these leaves have to be removed because they are diseased or defective. Now, with scorch, you're probably going to get away with them just being left in there. But with tar spot and tree mildew, no, they should not. They should be removed completely from the garden, should not be composted, and they should be sent to the street for city composting, which reaches much higher temperatures. Now, once you've got the idea that you're going to have to go in and rake these leaves out from between the shrubs and from your lawn, there is a great tool that I use. Now, there is the Deluxe Grounds Rake and the Deluxe Shrub Rake. The difference between the two is the size of the head. Both have a 57-inch fiberglass handle with a cap on it that twists around so that it can be hung by that cap. Or you can turn it around and hang it up by its head. Now, the Shrub Rake only has a 9-inch wide head, and each tine is piano wired, very tensile strength, curved, long, and each has its own individual spring. Because they're all of equal length, the pressure you apply is equal across the entire head. So going in between the shrubs and bushes and getting out all of the leaves and debris, which isn't always a good thing to get out of your garden, then it is actually very, very good for this. The Deluxe Grounds Rake, which is a 21-inch wide head, has the same construction. It's all very lightweight, very strong, and that makes it a good tool for people who are doing a lot of work. You don't want to drag around a lot of weight trying to get all the debris up off your lawn. And, of course, the leaves. Now, we all know that with every leaf rake we've ever used, the leaves always seem to build up in the tines. What you'll find about both the Shrub Rake and the Deluxe Grounds Rake is you can flip them over and wipe them out on the lawn, and all the leaves will come out, so that you don't have that stop, pull the leaves all out by hand and thing. So you'll get things done much quicker and easier. Because this rake is a little more aggressive than a leaf rake, you may find that when you're doing the lawn, you have to try and do it very lightly. Otherwise, you will find that you can use this rake for a light dethatching of your lawn as well. So you could do both at the same time if that is the need. It's a little late in the season for dethatching, but a little light dethatching wouldn't be a bad thing either. Remember that when you have done this, the lawn will be fluffed up. It won't be quite as good looking and even. You may want to cut your lawn, and at this time of year, you want to cut your lawn a little shorter. It's very important, and you will find that when there is constant snow cover, that the crowns of the grass will actually go and, of course, not get suffocated under the snow and ice buildup. If you have to garden to your own length and your own time, what have you got? You've got to go and do what is necessary, and that is a leaf blower. When you go to pick a leaf blower, you want one lightweight, easy, powerful, and quiet. This is what you're looking for in a leaf blower. You can blow them all together into a pile and pick up. This means that you have a choice of getting these leaves that are diseased, or if they're all clean, you get them all together and you can compost them in your composter. But the diseased ones go to the street into bags. The nice thing about these is that they are getting quieter and quieter. So what you're looking for is a leaf blower that is in the 65 to 70 dB range, okay? That's decibels, so that would be great. The greater the air volume, the more they're going to blow and blow further, and you want to keep its weight down. So you want a blower, a leaf blower, somewhere in the 10-pound range when it's not full of fuel. Fuel tanks are really quite small, so they're not a significant weight consideration. I still would recommend that you do wear ear protection when you go and do it. And I know that Stihl has a great pair of headphones that does both AM and FM radios. You can listen to the radio while you're actually going and blowing your leaves around. It makes gardening quite fun too, if you don't mind wearing them when you're out going planting annuals and listening to your favorite radio station. So you're looking at leaf blowers that are going to run around $300 to $500. Now, one of the good things is that the ones you're probably going to settle for are in the $300 range. That's good. That is what you're looking at. You know you're going to be using it. But there is another way you can actually use some of these leaf blowers. In the late spring and early fall, you get this light snow cover that's very dry. It blows around. You would normally sweep it up. You can actually use your leaf blower to blow it around, maybe blow it over onto your neighbors or anywhere else onto the lawn to add a little bit of moisture to that area. So as long as it's cold, below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, snow will stay fairly dry, and you'll be able to use them to actually blow the snow away instead of doing that sweep before, let's say, people walk on it and pack it down, or your car goes and packs it down, and of course you've got these slippery tread marks. And if you've got more than one or two cars, and particularly if you've got teenagers going in and out all the time, then you know that it would be a good idea to go ahead and do it. The Stihl blowers are probably going to be the best. I've tried a couple of these. The BG66 and the BG86, I think, are probably one of the best for people with smaller homes in subdivisions today. So if you're looking for an easier way to garden and deal with both leaves and a little bit of light snow, then the blower, or the leaf blower, is actually the best way to go. I'm Bruce Zimmerman. This is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week.